Well, David sent me, I'd never met David Michaud, who wrote the script and directed the film, and he sent me the script about 6 years ago and said, I wrote this especially for you, and I approached it with a certain trepidation, because that happens to you with young filmmakers, and quite often the script's dreadful and then you don't know how to let them down lightly. But this script I just thought was great right from the beginning. Great storyline, great plot, great... really good dialogue without any cliches, and complex, multi-layered characters. So I said yes, but then of course it took, with being an independent film, it took about 4 years for him to get the money. So I couldn't wait to start shooting, and I knew the boy had to be a newcomer, or at least someone with barely any experience. We took him straight out of high school, and I thought he acquitted himself excellently. He's got a lot of poise and a lot of focus, and good at detail.
Do you know anyone, like a bit of a sociopath, as I believe is how you described her in the notes? Sweet as can be, sweet as honey to talk to and everything, but she can turn on a dime.
Oh, she's one mean mother.
I mean, presumably you don't know people who will put a knife in your back in a literal fashion, but do you know people like that who wear two faces that way and you really can't judge them?
Not personally. I've met a few people that I've put out of my life that I didn't like, but I don't think I've ever known certainly never known a killer. And I come from a very middle class. My brother's a lawyer and my father was a lawyer, and so no, it was all drawn on research, true crime families I'd read about, and a couple of friends who are clinical psychologists who explained to me just exactly what a sociopath is.
Can you do
and
that?
one of the things was, well, you know, it's. I hate to sound like an expert when I'm not, but there's a few basic things. There's no conscience. There's totally self-absorbed and will go to any lengths to get exactly what they want. And the other thing about them is that they're good at concealing their true natures. So I think she's a classic Janine, because she does seem so charming and sweet at first, but that's part of her manipulative behaviour.
How did she evolve as you prepared the character? Did you know the tack you wanted to take instantly and then pursue that tack? Or did you try this on and try that off and discuss? It sounds like you had a long time to think about it. I know this was the only, it wasn't the only role in your life during that time, of course, but it's perhaps in the back of
No,
your mind.
after I read the script and said yes, I'd be interested in doing it, I forgot all about it.
You did.
Yeah. It was very much David's baby, very faithful to David's idea. When you're playing a villain like that, the tendency for the actor is to jump right in and signal right from the start what she's like. But David deserves credit for pulling me back and saying, no, be sweeter, be sweeter. And of course I couldn't get it out of my head that this woman was vile. But I think we did what he wanted, and I think it works.
And how was your rapport with him working through that?
Fantastic. He was a very collaborative, for a first-time director. He had a firm vision of what he wanted, but he was always willing and happy to listen to input from actors about approaches to things and choices to make. No changing of the dialogue. That was set in stone, and it was so good it didn't need to be changed.
And did you have rehearsal time?
We did. The luxury of a rehearsal, I've only made about a dozen films, but I've never had that luxury where you get rehearsal time beforehand. And it was very valuable in working out exactly what you said, what direction things needed to go, and it was a good bonding period too.